is it. Here we are from a different setting today. We're at the family's house, so you're gonna have to excuse the different setting. But we'll be back to our regular proceedings when we get back home for the post game. But for now, it's gonna have to do. Me and Bobblehead Bobby, Mr. Norm, Cole. So, where are we at with team selection? Let's revisit that. Let me share the screen and we can have a little look-see. Who would have thought that at this point of 2024, we'd be saying Collingwood and Melbourne are both outside of the 8. Can you guys see that? Let me just make sure. Cool, yeah, we can. So, 10th versus 12th, Pies slight favourites. Let's have a look at the lineups. So I think what we took out of moving the magnets yesterday was this. Of all things, it was Will Parker remains, and Nathan Kruger is not even an emergency. It seems like Collingwood's forward line are going extremely small. They'll have Darcy Cameron or Mason Cox in there, along with 5 other smalls. So it probably talks to the way Collingwood are going to try and play today. I think because of what we're chasing, and that's a matter of where we're chasing percentage. How realistic is that? Not too sure. Not really. Not high, but it's Fly McRae, for goodness sake. Like, he's going to have to try. So who's in the chat? Let me catch up. Kynan's in the chat. Champs, Timmy Nelson, Stephanos, Dick Garnett there. Dylan, Pies by 200. I wish and I hope. G'day, last pre-game of the year. Sure is. And thank you for being along the journey in Mind of Own. I've loved having you in the live streams. Parker has to be the sub. We'll talk about that in a moment. Mick, Yasuanth, who's going to take marks up forward? That's the $1 million question, Mick Ali. But as I mentioned, it's probably the way Collingwood want to play tonight, and that's to play fast footy. It looks quite. What's the weather? It's raining now, and we're at the G, so maybe we don't have to worry about marks inside 50 from a contested mark perspective. We can look at getting marks inside 50 through moving the ball fast and getting it at the back. So I think that's where Collingwood's bang for buck is in these conditions. It's quite wet out there and cold. So we'll see. A bit shocking that both teams are not in the 8. Pommy, here he is. Get the rig out, you legend. Settle. Hey, if you want to go have a look at the rig, go watch Moving the Magnets from yesterday. Good mate. How are you? I seen the draft. Hey, Pommy, actually, while you're here, if you are still here, so Collingwood have pick 23 or pick 26. Let me double check before chat kill me. Draft Guru Collingwood 2024 draft order. Because I didn't see Collingwood's pick in there when you were doing it, so I'm assuming you were saying Collingwood are going to trade. Are you assuming we're going to trade pick 26 to a certain club? Is that not assuming, but is that what you're I guess expecting? If Finn doesn't perform tonight, his papers need to be stamped. Sick and tired. Yeah. I said it's hard to get much out of this game on its own. However, I think it means a lot for 2 players, and that's Finlay McRae and Joe Richards. I think there's a bit of leeway for Charlie Dean if he doesn't play well. There's a bit of leeway for Ed Allen if he doesn't play well. But I think these 2, we're going to know a lot more. We're going to know a lot more about these 2 come by the end of the game. Finlay McRae coming off a 37 disposal game in the VFL. He needs to translate the form. Joe Richards, how much are we going to get for him if he goes to Port Adelaide? I don't know if they're going to give away pick 32. Someone mentioned previously that Jack Ginnivan went for less. And I know we sold Jack Ginnivan at a low point, and we're probably selling Joe Richards at a high point. So I can see the argument that we could get more from Joe. But at the end of the day, if Collingwood aren't willing to accept less than pick 32 from Port, then Joe's just going to walk to the national draft, no? But then will Port Adelaide take Joe Richards in a draft, or will someone else try swipe him away? What do you guys think? Nick Dacos to have 40 and 2. I hope so, mate. I hope so. He might need 40 and fucking 10 today, man. Pommy, big game Sunday, be watching. Nicholas, how you going? We should just enjoy the game for what it is. Yeah, 100%. I'm keen. Looking forward to what we can see tonight. Sort of just kick back and relax. Love having you here, Tim. Love having you on. Every Collingwood player, myself, Nick Dacos, get 3 Brownlow votes. He will win the Brownlow, please. Let's go, Freddie. Freddie Jong. We had 4 matches. McGuinness would be gutted. Yeah, that's another one. It's another tough one. Where this goes with Reef McInnes. I thought he's been one of the better performers. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at old mate Reef McInnes' year at AFL level. Can you guys see Willow here? No. Let me share screen. There we go. All right. Reef McInnes. And you know what? Let's compare him up against the likes of... Who's he up against? Let's say Brody Myercheck to an extent, so we're going to have to include him. Maybe... I'm not saying Joe Richards is the same type of player, but that's what we're dealing with. That medium-sized forward, I guess you have to put Jamie Elliott in there. And I think I'd leave it at that. So... he has the lowest player rating of them all, but he also has the least amount of time on ground. His disposals don't say much, which we know that. But look at that. Guys, a goal and a half per game off the back of 54% time on ground. That's why I'm bemused as to why Reef McInnes isn't getting a shot. He's 22, 23, same age as Finlay. I feel like he's a jack of all trades but master of none, Reef McInnes. That's his problem. I'd hate to see Reef McInnes go more than anyone. More than anyone. So have to score heavily from turnovers and center square clearances. Melissa, how are you? Hey champs. I think Cox plays in the forward line, and if he does, he needs to take marks and kick a few goals. It's going to be hard, Melissa. I don't know. If you're in Melbourne, Melissa, just look outside your window. I don't know how many marks Big Coxie's taking out there. So the decision to play smaller is probably not at the fault of Kruger. It's at the fault of the weather. And maybe that's why he's not being selected. Dear Mr. Sidebottom, I would like to apologize for my disrespectful comments about getting... Hey, there you go. I'll own it. There you go. Hands up. Signed, Anthony. I like that one. This game is a lot like the NFL cut down day. Finn playing for his place. Cox needs to learn how to mark a ball. Come on. All right, we're going to fact check this, MD. That's a horrible call. That's a horrible call. Let's put our markers in here. So let's go contested marks. Who are our contested markers? Myercheck, Darcy Cameron, Cox. No, you know what? Let's look at the entirety of the league. I think you've got this sorely mistaken, MD. Make sure you can see this. Okay. Let's go forwards. Yeah. I think he might be a ruckman though, so I'm not even going to filter it. So let's go contested marks. Marks. Here we go. Where is he? If he can't take a mark, why is he in the top 20? Hold on, let me filter this out because there's a couple players who are above him who have only played less than 5 games. 5 to 26. So Cox is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13th in the league. averaging 1.6 contested marks per game. And guess what? He has 67% time on ground. And I wouldn't even add. I wouldn't really include Sam Day because he only played 5 games. So in 15 games, at 67% time on ground, he's in the top 15 for contested marks. So, what do you think about that? Hopefully, Finn McRae has a cracker to increase his trade value. Yeah, we can look at it that way, Mick. Joe Richards is a star, man. Don't get it. No, you blokes love Schultz, but Joe Richards is quality. Yeah. Did you see my question about your draft, Pommy? Did you see that? Yeah, Pommy, did you see my question about your draft? So Collingwood have picked 26, but I noticed that you may have made the guess that Collingwood are trading it away. Is that why that Collingwood weren't in your top 30 Phantom draft, Pommy? All Collingwood players help. Nick Dacos. Freddie, settle, mate, settle. Yeah, post-game fan cams, last one for the year, so get involved. Everybody get involved. Oh, do you mean now? We could do now. I'll talk for a little bit longer. I'll waffle on a little bit longer. And then maybe we'll get some fan cams in a pre-game show. Yeah. Freddie, settle. Freddie, come on, settle, mate. I saw the rig, caught it up on replay. Watch all the content. Love that, Pom Dog. Love you, mate. Hey, the only reason why Finn is playing tonight is to put him on show to the highest bidder. It's a realistic way to look at it, that's for sure. Surprise he didn't select Krugs or Reef. Yeah, it could be due to the weather. I really do. That and Fly must not love needing to have Kruger in the side. Cox can't mark in the dry weather, let alone when it's wet. Just needs to bring the ball down. Don't like letting goes of who have great potential, then we have to try to replace them. Should do more to keep Richards. Hey, I agree, but who knows what's going on in the behind closed doors. Small forward line is better weather for Bobby, Jamie, Schultz, and even Bo. Yes. Enjoy, Pie Man. You're a brave man going to the footy in this weather. 0.5 for Mackay, who is universally considered by key defenders to be the best contested mark forwards. Harsh on Coxie. He's a fantastic player. Yeah. I think the vitriol for Mason Cox's poor marking abilities is rendered not true. Yep, fan camps tonight, Kynan. Maybe the ones he should be marking, he's not. Got you there, MD. I got you there. Theon, how you going, mate? Okay, hold on. I'm just venting now. Now you're right. All right, Pommy's enlightening me. He's enlightening me. We had 4 pick matches, mate. So it's knocked you down. The Camporellis, Brisbane kid, and Tyler Welsh, and we had the dodgy couple of compensation picks. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, mate. I'm my draft aptness is not there, so we lean on people like you to explain what's going on. So we'll slide down to pick 30 because of that, or pick 31, pick 32. Is that what you're saying? Alex Condon to replace Coxie in 2026. Joe Richards won't leave. He'll be playing mostly as Samful and only coming with injuries at Port. He'll stay with the Trigger for an extension. That way he stays in his home state. Interesting. Everybody has a price. Who is actually realistically on the Collingwood list in the trade period? Is it only like Mark Keane? I think Barras is likely to go to Hawthorn. The thing is, a lot of players that were looking to go to Collingwood are now looking at Hawthorn. Bailey Smith, I think even Josh Battle, as we just mentioned, Mark Keane. I don't think we're most desperate for a key back. So we've just got to push for that one. I think we can live another year without an inside midfielder in the draft, from the draft. I think our forward line department, I'm happy with our forward line department, really. Just little bits and pieces. But I don't want to overinvest in one player for one certain position. Thoughts if we could get yeah, I just said I would be giving up too much for track, not just trade wise, but salary as well. Do we want to be in another Adam Treloar, Brodie Grundy position? Probably not. Yes, correct. So you get the matches knocking you down as they basically become an extra pick. Then we expect 2 to 3 compensation picks for restricted free agents. I personally have a gut feeling that you'll trade into the draft with futures. We'll trade into the draft with futures. So you mean we'll give up our pick this year for future drafts in perhaps 2025? Because I think, again, Pommy, with looking at the new draft rules, it's not this year, but next year you'll be able to trade 2 years in advance. Right now, in October, the trade period, you can trade picks for 2025. But after October, so next October, you can trade from October 2025, you can trade for picks 2026 and picks in 2027. Is that right? It's quite a bit convoluted. It's a bit convoluted. So I'm glad there's someone like you in the chat. Hey, mate, if you want to fucking jump on and apprise us all about the draft for a little bit in the pregame, then I think it's that time of the year where people are intrigued. So if you want to jump on, Pommy, I'll put the link in the chat if you want to have a quick yarn. Guys, and that goes to everybody else. We've got time. It's 5:16. We'll stay here for a bit, but if you want to jump on pre-game fan cams, click the link. But Pommy, mate, I'd love to have you on just to have a yarn about the draft and everything else in between. You can teach us a little bit more. Orangutan K going, mate. 160 plus point win tonight. I guess this weather also basically nullifies anything like that to happen, right? It's not going to happen. 200 points in this weather. Come on. 2025, we will be scary. Yeah. A bit of news on the grapevine regarding Marqueen. Okay. I think you'll use a future first 2025 to come into this draft. Ooh, okay. Knowing you'll get 2 futures to do it next year anyway. Okay. So trade into this draft, knowing that next year we'll be able to trade for more futures for next year's draft. Few academies next year, so clubs will look at collateral and this draft perfect. Still can't understand why they didn't give Dimitir a run and drop Parker. They play the same position. Yeah, it's a fair call. I'm glad, at the very least, I'm glad to see Joe Richards, Phil McRae, and Ed Allen in the team. All right. This guy, are you out with Mrs. Pommy, mate? Fucking getting your groceries sorted. Is this a week like your weekly grocery shop? It's an unusual day to do it, but it's a smart way. Do it as the weekend is beckoning, right? Rather than on a Sunday we just cannot be asked. Oh, Malarico coming in. Collingwood will be bottom 4 in 2025. Damn. Yikes. Pass mark for the new ins. All right. Let's go. Pass mark. So I don't think I have Ed Allen. I do. I do have Ed Allen. Bear with me. All right. What's the pass mark for Ed Allen tonight? That's hilarious, Pommy. You've got to have the AirPods in or something, don't you? Or Pommy, is she pushing you in the trolley? Let me see if I can get a picture of what I'm trying to articulate. Pushing baby in grocery trolley. This is you, Pom. This is you with Mrs. Pom right now. Yeah. Is this the one? This is Pom. All right. Pommy, that's you, mate. That's you being pushed around by Mrs. Pom at Woolies. You're the baby, by the way. You're not the one driving the. But yeah, anyways, all right, we move. Okay. Yeah, Ed Allen. What's the pass mark? So, for me, guys, pass mark for Mr. Ed Allen Well, he has to be the start. He has to be a starter in my eyes. I'd be very surprised if Will Parker is not that. Does he play on ball or does he play on the wing? Is it something else I need to consider? But what I didn't see from Ed Allen in his game against, was it Fremantle? Well, I didn't see a lot of polish, and I felt like he got outran by Jeremy Sharp. He got outran by Jeremy Sharp on the wing. And mind you, Jeremy Sharp had a really good game against us in that one. So let's have a look at share this tab. That first game, it was underwhelming. And when he did have the ball, I'm not saying his disposal is poor, but he looked like he was a bit under the pump, which is totally fair, right? Like, to assume that he was, I guess, just adjusting to the rigors and the intensities of AFL footy, which is totally fine. But he had 7 disposals. If I go here, match stats, 1 second, 2024 versus Fremantle. Yeah, and he'll be over here, disposals, down to 7. Yeah, so he ends up having 7 disposals. What was his time on ground? 77% time on ground. He's on the wing, 42% disposal efficiency is not what you want playing on the wing. You want to be closer to that 70% mark. That's where most of the elite wingers stand when it comes to good ball use. There wasn't a whole lot to like, but that's okay. Like I said, how much you're going to read into someone's first game at AFL level? But then you got someone like Jeremy Sharp, who had one of his best games for the year on Ed Allen. He had 2 coaches' votes, 26 touches, with 21 of his touches being kicks, 8 inside 50s, and just owned the outside goal, kicked a goal assist, score involvements. Had a really good game for a winger, and I just remembered Jeremy Sharp giving Ed Allen a lesson. So that's where I think Ed Allen needs to come from, improvement-wise. That's what he's bouncing back from. I think if he gets his 15 touches, shows some poise, we know he's quite strong and he doesn't mind the old don't argue. So maybe we can see a couple of those today. But yeah, we'll see. He's probably going to play in the wing, but in the end, I think he will eventually play in the midfield, ideally. Okay. What are your thoughts on Ed? Abdullah, the 30 below still hold value. So with him being a top 10 prospect, you'll trick the system with a pair of seconds. Okay, Pommy, mate, when you come on later, you're going to explain to us this bloody Thomas McGuan situation and how it's going to work, because next year, guys, with the new trade rules, you can't stockpile ladder picks. But what are ladder picks? Do picks after pick 70 lose value, or is it after the first round they lose value? Like, you can only match it with first round. So, Pommy, I'd like you to tell us about that. Woody's in. Love that. And then give it a rest, man. Manny. Nick Allen. Are you ready? Jump in, Nick Allen. You good? Can you hear me, Nick? All right. Give me 1 sec.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, give me one moment. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. And about about the whole Zerk Fletcher thing. That was just a joke.
No, that's okay. No, you're right. We like to take the piss over here at Pies Footy, so don't stress, Nick.
It's been all talked about like crazy. So I'm just gonna ask something stupid.
So where's your head going into this game?
Yeah.
Is your head in the draft? Is your head in this game? Is your head in 2025? Where is it?
Well, Craig McRae in the stats would take on like with some things, just like don't really focus about going forward and going back. Just focus on the now. And right now we've got a game against Melbourne, but no, going into this game, I don't know about you, but it really gives me 2017 vibes. I mean, for those that didn't really watch 2017, we actually did surprisingly, it's very convenient that we actually went against Melbourne in the last game, and Melbourne actually bet us in the Queen's birthday. And for those who still don't know that time, that's when Jeremy Howard took that spectacular mark in the Queen's birthday. And then at this time of year in 2017, he actually took a very similar one. So I'm really hoping that Jeremy Howe will take a nice good hanger again, because we all know how much he hated that moment when he did not got that mark of the year against Melbourne. Still to this day, I still haven't gotten over that.
Are we in a similar position, Nick, as to 2017 on ladder position wise? We are, aren't we?
No,
We're like
there's been
around the mark.
yeah. Like we were sitting in 13, in position 13. I'm pretty sure it was, and but we were always constantly 13. Like the next year, going. I mean, before they're not back in the Nathan Buckley era, but then after that, we finally actually went into like that 2018 grand final. So ending the season with a win will be absolutely fantastic, because that's the last time I remember us being in this type of situation. Then going on to 2018, we actually went into finals with that win. So hopefully will give us enough momentum to go into next year and hopefully actually go into finals. But
Isn't it
about the
crazy that
whole
if you look here, Nick, you need 13 and a half wins to play finals in 2024. Like if you look here, we're sitting on 12 wins if you include the 2 draws, and then we could potentially finish on 13 total wins for the year, and we're still not going to make finals. Like that's how stretched the competition is this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, the game has really evolved, hasn't it? I mean, like if in the 2010 with Malthouse, that Lee Brown thing, that was actually to me more like an involvement with that whole entire ruck forward, because we didn't had ruck forwards, I don't think at that time just yet, because yeah, so that just comes to show how much the AFL is really involved, really involved now into the modern game.
Yep. Nick? You tell us about your pass mark for Ed Allen tonight.
I think now that we know that Cyril Sidebottom might be an inside midfielder after just checking out all his numbers now, I think some supporters have been saying to look for like that ring replacement. I think Ed Allen could be that ring replacement. I don't know. Maybe it could be, because when we got him, he was more of an inside midfield, but we can also play outside of the can also play outside as what the Flyers been trying to do.
Well, let's have a crack at this, right? Let's have a crack at this. Let's assume these first 5 will all be in the back line. I think Quaynor will be on the wing. It'll be Quaynor on one wing. I think maybe Lipinski on the other, because I think Josh Dacos and... Can you see the screen, by the way, just while I'm doing this?
Yep.
Okay. I think this is a straight swap, which is what we've expected. I think Sidebottom, there's a chance he starts on ball. Jack Crisp will...
Yep.
Then there's a chance he starts on ball. And then, as you can see here, this is likely what we're going to see in the forward line, a very small, I guess, base forward line there, with Mason Cox being the tallest of them all. And the next is probably Bo McCreary or Patrick Lipinski. And then you got Whisper, Dip, and Booker all on ball, DC being the ruckman. So where does Ed Allen stand amongst all this? I think he, like you said, he plays a lot on the wing. I think there's a spot there to be taken. Patrick Lipinski hasn't been playing a whole lot on the wing for whatever reason. So I think we might get a bit of Ed Allen on the wing, but also if we're lucky, just a little smidgen of on ball.
Yeah. And yeah. Like if you go and look at the draft interviews about like you know who has been picked and all that, and you hear them just going on about the player that's been drafted. They really refer to him as like a Nick Cox, but just a bit, you know, just a bit smaller. So that's when I thought, like, okay, well, he might be he might be that tall type of ringman, like Nick Cox, but he's not 200 centimeters. So I also like still now I just don't know where Allen is going to be. He could be a utility, like a bit like a Lee Brown maybe. He could end up like that, or he could be on the ring. Or on ball. I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see where Flyers going to put some of these kids. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, Nick, appreciate your time. We'll move on to the next, and hopefully the Pies get a win, and maybe we'll see you in the post-game show fan cams.
Yep. And hopefully, I'm hoping that Jeremy Howe can take a hanger like what he did in 2017 in that round 23. Keep your eyes on it, guys. I hope. Let's have our fingers to hope. I hope.
Take care, Nick.
You too. Go Pies.
Go Pies. All right, Kynan, give me 1 second, brother. I just want to quickly hit this one on there. Just hang tight, brother. Hang tight. We're nearly there. So Jack Crisp, because Tim Nelson brings up a quick point that I want to address. Otherwise, I'll get sidetracked when I'm talking to you, Kynan. So with that suggestion, I don't know if Crisp putting Crisp on the wing is in Collingwood's best interest. And just for reference, the last game we played, I think if I remember correctly, the last game we played against Melbourne on Queen's birthday, yep, there you go. Jack Crisp was our best on ground. He had 10 coaches' votes, 27 disposals, 11 contested possessions, and attended 91% of the centre bounces. So do you really want to, especially against this type of team, the way he played against this team most recently, do you want to shove him out to the wing for the sake of Ed Allen playing on ball a little bit more? I'd almost say if that's the case, you may as well put Steele side bottom elsewhere for today's game. But I think at the end of the day, Fly McRae is going to put his best players in their best position to win it, to put us in the best position to win this game. So that's where I think that goes. All right, gaming and fun. How you going? Who does sidey tag? Let's bring in Kynan. And change the brand here to sidey. Here we go. Kynan, how are you, brother?
Oh, yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Sound tired.
Oh, I might have woken up an hour or two ago.
That's okay. Quick question. Do you want sidey on shoulders or sidey long sleeve?
Oh, I think the long sleeve's too iconic to not put on there.
All right, we'll leave
I think him and the long sleeves is just too.
But he
too
did
good.
take this mark again. He did take this mark against the D's on Queen's birthday.
Yeah, but what did he do 30 seconds after?
He shanked it.
Fucking
He
nearly
didn't
kicked it out in the fall. Yeah, he nearly kicked it out in the fall. So
all right, sidey long sleeves then. Sidey long sleeves.
Yeah,
so
long sleeves.
Can you answer Mick's question or help us answer the question? Who does sidey tag today if he does?
Is it bad that I don't know many good Melbourne players?
That's totally fine. Well, I'll help you out. Petrarca and Oliver, let's share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Petrarca's not playing.
Yeah, Petrarca, Oliver, both out.
Oh, true, Oliver. Yeah, true.
So that really...
Oh, wait, yeah. Hey, look at that. The emergency. Kynan Brown. Look at that. That's me.
Yeah. The wannabe.
Yeah, he wants to be me, man. No.
That's
hard. I don't know, eh? I mean, he usually plays on Langdon, so...
That's when he's on the wing, right? But if
he's
in the middle...
Yeah, so... He's in the middle, though, so... I mean, he could take Trent Rivers.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be Viney. I think it's gonna be Viney. And
Really,
you
I
know what?
think Maynard. Yeah, true.
Screw it. I mean, there's the players that Sidey's had to mark over the last couple of weeks in Goulden and Lockie Neal. I don't think Melbourne have that quality right now, so it's probably less of a concern than what it has been in the last couple of weeks. That's my answer for you, Mick, in the chat.
Yeah, Viney's probably the second.
Kind of, where's your head at for this game? Are you still here in round 24? Are you in 2025? Are you in the draft period? Are you in the trade period? Where are you at?
At this point, I'm just watching it for some Friday night entertainment. I got nothing else on, so I was like, "Fuck it," you know what? We'll just watch the game.
Totally fair.
I mean, I would like to see them get finals. Last year was my first time ever watching a live grand final where I could actually compute what was going on, and it was great. But this year, it's drained the life force out of me. There's none left in me anymore.
That's what I've been saying the last couple
Yeah.
of weeks, kind of. I've been saying that I think it's a good time for Collingwood supporters just to have a little bit of respite from what we've had to go through the
Yeah.
last couple of years, right?
Yeah, 2022 killed me, and then last year was great. Didn't have to worry about losing any games. Basically, I just watched it for pure entertainment value. This year, I wanted to rip my hair out all year. It's not been okay.
I mean, it's like, how many times can you deal with your missus breaking up with you before it's too much? You know, that's how I like to draw the
Literally,
analogies, right?
yeah. No, that's 100% true. It's this dog. You're doing the same shit again that we've already talked about 14 times. Oh, okay. I guess we'll
Exactly
go
right.
through it again.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
it again. But
it's
now,
it's
yeah, Q's in Iraq.
I don't know.
Q is in
Yeah,
Iraq for this
yeah, true.
one.
I don't know. I've been enjoying seeing Quainer on the wing. I think it's a good spot for him because he doesn't have to rely on winning the one-on-one so as much as he does have to on the wing. Even though last year he was the one-on-one king.
Yeah, it's weird. It's with his positional change. I ask myself, why does he play better in that position at the moment, and what does he like more about that position that allows him to get the ball more? It's maybe the open space, not having to be assigned to a player, because I think this year he's been maybe too focused on
On the one-on-ones.
yeah, and then he forgets how to find the ball and help us attack, and then when he's not defending one-on-one well anyways, and what is he doing well? So the change was needed.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's kicked 2 goals in the last 2 games, and he's a backman usually. Like it's just shit you don't see. That's just like what the fuck. I just saw Quaynor kick a goal. I haven't seen him kick a goal in like 2 years. What is this? Like,
Well, Kynan, Isaac Quaynor in his draft combine did the goal kicking contest, and I think they have to take 5 shots from 5 different angles, and he kicked all of them,
and he got
and he
all
had
of them.
the
Yeah,
best score.
yeah. Which is ironic that now he's a backman. Like, yeah, dude, my ADHD is kicking in. I can't focus on you shaking that bobblehead. Don't be doing that. Nah, I don't know. It's good to see the style of football that we were playing last year. Not this bullshit kick it down the line and hope. Actually attacking the football, not just praying that it works. It doesn't. Just anyway. I watch these games and I'm like, how do you guys just not have the method that you had last year? I don't understand. Where does it go?
Manny doesn't like Josh Stakos off the halfback. I think Josh Stakos off the halfback's been unreal. I don't think we're robbing too much of the team by having Josh on the halfback and then Isaac Crane on the wing. Josh was
Oh,
kicking more
absolutely.
goals and a better kick inside 50. Yes, he's both, But what Isaac Quaynor brings is probably more physicality and more bruteness and more defensive output from a wing position. And then what Josh Dacos offers on the half back line compared to what he offers on the
Good
wing.
set of hands.
Yeah, I think on the half back flank he offers a bit more than what he can offer on the wing at the moment. Mate, look at all the players that everyone's chasing in this league at the moment. Everybody wants Nick Blakey. Everybody wants Dan Houston. Everybody wants Dane Zorko. Kitty Coleman in that grand final. It's the best. The best players in the league, Max Holmes, are half-back flankers. That's where the good footy starts.
They're so versatile and they do so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can play a pseudo forward, they can play a midfielder, they can play a backman, they do everything. Like it just depends on how you want them to play. It's like Nick Dacos off the half back line. That motherfucker was kicking more goals than 90% of the league was on the half back line. Like, and now he's playing center and his disposable efficiency's dropped by nearly 30%. Like that's annoyed me. Like, how do you drop 30% in efficiency?
Nah. Well, with the midfield, kind of once you got in the midfield, man, your disposal efficiency is going to drop drastically, and because Nick, he's the hit guy. So when Darcy Cameron, when the ball goes up in the air, and Darcy Cameron's looking for someone to tap it to, the first player it's going to is Nick Dacos. So he is going to be under the pump before he even gets the ball in that middle. So that probably talks to why his disposal efficiency is down, and he's been inaccurate in front of goal, which significantly impacts your disposal efficiency. But yeah, it could be better. Sure, it could. It's probably an adjustment period playing in the midfield, but I think it's not
also,
as bad as it made out to be.
I mean, also being held every contest is, it
saying.
it starts to piss you off. It starts to like get like you start getting angry. It's like, bro, I can't play the game. Like, let me play, motherfucker. God damn.
Manny, Josh doesn't run and carry. Like, his run and carry is by use of the way he uses the ball. Like, how do I explain this in a footy context? Like, you can get Sard, who runs you 20 meters and kicks it 60 meters, but then it comes back 100 meters the other way because it's a long boot down the line. Yeah, Josh might not break a line through his speed, but he'll break lines with his kicking and his hand passing, which I think is much more valuable than being able to run through a couple players and fucking hoof it 100 meters in the air. You know what I mean?
If anything, it's better run and carry because it's efficient. It's not just preying on a whim that you kick it forward and someone marks it like we've been doing all year. It's the same. I was watching the grand final replay a few days ago, yeah, and no joke. Every time we got the ball, we were cutting 45 degrees and kicking it. We were cutting 45 and kicking it either into the middle or opposite side of the ground. We never took the down the line kicks ever, unless it was like 20 seconds to go in the final quarter.
They figured us out, man. They figured us out this year, and we just needed we've adapted slowly. You can't say the last few weeks have not looked extremely promising.
Oh nah, 100%. Just the fact that we're hitting the ball. We would hit it forward, run onto it, hit it forward, run onto it. That's all we were doing, and it was working.
But even that doesn't. Even this year, that whole knocking it forward, tapping it forward on the ground hasn't worked as well in the past because teams expect that. Whereas in the past, grassroots footy, they teach you when the ball is in dispute, usually you want to just take it in and create a stoppage. Collingwood, they just say knock it forward at all costs. But now teams have adapted to that. That's the difference.
Well, it worked last week. It worked really well last week.
Man, that game was chaotic. I still can't get over it.
It was great. It was so good to watch. It was so entertaining. And that's the problem with other teams is that they're not entertaining, and that's why they don't bring in the fans.
Yep.
Is that they don't have that style of football that's brute force, high energy, just go, 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 go. It's this boring, I'm going to chip kick at 30 meters, all the way up the ground. That's boring. That's fucking
boring. They've been trying to do it against us the last few weeks, but it hasn't worked. Teams that
we've finally stopped zone defending and we've manned up. This zone defending bullshit is stupid. unless you change it up.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, Kynan, I'm sure we'll see you we're going to see you in the post game, brother.
Oh yeah.
We'll
And depending
see.
on how we go,
We'll see how
there'll
we
be
go.
varying moods. There'll be varying moods.
All right, brother. Take it easy. All right. We got Abs up next. Give me 1 second. Absy, how are you?
Good, mate. How you going?
Good, man. It's an interesting feeling tonight because
Yeah,
you're just trying to
it's a bit of
figure out
a.
what you're trying to look forward to.
It's a bit of a. I have a bit of a like a hollow feeling.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's just
Thank you.
because I think like at. I know we haven't played our best footy for most of the season, but the sort of glimpses that I've seen over the last, especially over the last few weeks, I feel like that that Collingwood would be good enough to play finals, and it's just
100%.
disappointing that we just didn't see enough of it. You know.
Nah, we've done it differently the last few weeks. Like just out the way we've owned territory, it's not by way of our ball movement of last year. And I like what? Look,
Yeah.
who we played, Absy? We played Sydney, we played Brisbane, and we played.
Yeah.
Who else we played that we beat? That was really good. Carlton. Those are high caliber
Yeah.
teams, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
those games against Gold Coast, Essendon, Hawthorn, and Geelong have cost us dearly.
Yeah. Absolutely. And even like the Sydney game, though we didn't win it, like we played really well for 3/4 of that game and we probably should have won it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you add that in there as well. So yeah, a bit disappointing that we just had that poor patch, which but in saying that, like, I mean, far out, man. Like we could end up winning 12 games and having 2 draws and still not making finals. Like that's crazy. Because I mean, if you look at last year, Sydney had 12 wins and 1 draw, and they finished 8th. So there you go.
It's interesting one. I'm going to put a question out in the poll, Absy, but I'll put it to you as well. Who has the most?
Yeah.
Most to prove / lose tonight out of Joe Richards? Let's go Finn McRae. And then we've also got Ed Allen. And there's someone else, Charlie Dean. So while I'm entering that, for you personally, who do you think has the most to prove / lose tonight and why?
I would say Finn McRae because out of those players, he's been there the longest and he's had the most chance of everyone. And I think I've seen some good footy out of Joe Richards in the few games that he's played. Allen, I haven't seen none of him, so you can't really expect much from him. He hasn't had much of a chance. But yeah, I feel like Finn McRae, he's had quite a few chances and just hasn't taken it by the balls by the horn. Take the ball by the horns. You know what I mean?
Absy, I think we're losing you. It's a bit choppy. Guys, am I lagging as well, or is it just Absy? Absy, we'll let you just sort that out for a second. But was that both of us, guys, or was that just Absy lagging? What's the chat saying regarding this poll? So just him. Yep. So 62% think Finlay McRae has the most to prove / lose tonight. 38% for Joe Richards, and then 0% for Ed Allen and Charlie Dean. Manny, are you going to jump on the post-game show, please? Please? Regardless of result, are you going to jump on? It's the last one for the year. People were begging. I don't know if you watched back the post-game show chat, but there was a lot of people begging for Manny to be on last week. So we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. Guys, where are we at? I think we have a cool little announcement. I'm not sure if we're there yet. We're there. We are at, let me hide this. We are at 2,000 subscribers for Pies Footy officially. So what we've been able to create over the last, we started in February. We're now in August. That is 6 months odd. And we're at 2,000 subscribers. So, wow. I don't know. Thank you. It's you guys who build the channel. You guys coming back brings other people along. So, greatly appreciative of that. So, thank you all. 2,000 is massive. And it's only going to get bigger. And we're going to get stronger. And, hey, hopefully growing these communities, it helps Collingwood. We help them, they help us. And they help us, we help them. That's how I see it. The world works in mysterious ways. So, Team Ella, I'm not going. I'm just watching at home tonight. What about you? A bit wet weather footy outside tonight. So, I feel like Joe getting in tonight is to increase his trade value. Some are saying for Finlay McRae as well. Same sort of situation. But so we have 19 votes. Who has the most approve/lose tonight? Finlay McRae, 58%. Joe Richards, 42%. 0% for Ed Allen and Charlie Dean. Oh, just keep going there. I think I saw Caleb in the Crazy Horse last night. So I'll message Caleb to see. I'm assuming that's a restaurant in South Australia because Caleb was there in South Australia yesterday. But thanks, Timmy. Go Pies. All hail Israel. Jeez. It wouldn't be that silly. Next season, I'd like to see us kick bigger scores. That'd be cool. No watch-along. I hate doing watch-alongs. I really do hate doing watch-alongs. Yeah, John, mate, you're going to naughty corner. No politics here, mate. Can't be fucked. Raising the value is pretty smart. Yeah, of course. Is Pommy in the chat? Pommy said he was going to jump on if he had some time to talk us through some draft. Stip joint. How am I supposed to know? I don't live in Adelaide, Manny. Kynan does. Of course, he'd know. How was I supposed to know? Oh, strip joint. Yeah. Not a. Yeah. It's basic kittens. I didn't know. I'm from Melbourne. I know kittens. I just don't know. I don't know crazy horses. But anyways.
Get Manny on, man. Get him on.
Yeah, I told him. Come here. Come tell him.
I can't be fucked.
Come here, man.
Manny, get on, man.
That's my brother, Manny, telling you to jump on after the game.
Tell him to jump on now for a bit.
Nah, we don't want Manny pre-game. We want Manny fired up post-game. Gideole so.
Absolute disgrace. Absolutely fucking.
That's going to go down as one of the all-times for the post-game shows. I think we've covered just Munilla.
Malaka. Manny de Malaka.
I'm shit out of ideas, guys. So I think we're just going to leave it at that. And we'll see you all for the post-game show. Go Pies. And leave a like. Leave a like, please.